Can you imagine going up to a car dealer and you got $30,000, which means you're prepared to just buy the car, and they call 911 on you? Just think about it. They hate us when we're broke, right? And they hate us when we got a lot of money. So, why go out of your way to try to please them? So, let's get into this story. Tears after deviating from its own policy to call 911 have her wrongly arrested over a $30,000 cashier's check. So, of course, she is suing. Black woman filed a racial discrimination lawsuit against a Kia dealership in Highland Park, Illinois on October 13th. Sade Crockett, she was arrested at the dealership after being falsely accused of using a fraudulent check to purchase a vehicle on March 10th. Do you know how easy it is to verify a check? Do you know how easy it is to verify a check? People up at that dealership is dumb. So anyway, Crockett was at McGrath Kia, located at 250 Skokie Valley Road in Highland Park, to purchase a vehicle with a cashier's check gifted to her by her 82-year-old uncle, Enoch Graves. According to her attorneys, Hampton and Hampton LLP, Crockett and her uncle first went to the Fifth Third Bank in Chicago and obtained a cashier's check from Graves' account, which was legitimate and intended as a birthday gift to his niece. The duo explained to the bank teller that they intended to purchase a vehicle with the cashier's check. And they even called the dealership from the bank to ensure the cashier's check would be properly, given to them as payment to purchase a vehicle. The clerks expressed that the bank could accommodate them without issue and that the cashier's check were less susceptible to fraud than personal checks and would give the recipient additional assurances that the check would clear, says the lawsuit, adding that the dealership approved the cashier's check made out in the amount of $30,710.05 as an acceptable form of payment. Okay, so if they called the dealership from the bank and everything was verified, why did, when she arrived at the dealership, they called the police? It's saying that they called from the bank, called the dealership from the bank. Wow. The dealership also advised Crockett that she would not need to bring her uncle with her to make the purchase. So she dropped him off at home before heading to the dealership. However, upon arriving, the 36-year-old said she noticed a sense of unwelcomeness from a predominantly white staff. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. However, nonetheless, she test drove a Chevy Trailblazer LT and decided she would purchase the 2021 vehicle and gave the dealer the cashier's check. She also explained that she'd call earlier from the bank, but the dealer called Fifth Third to verify the check. They failed to call the same person at the branch and was told the check was likely fraudulent without adequate investigation or due diligence by the bank. Yeah, but even if they couldn't get the same person that she was with at the bank, anybody at the bank should have been able to verify that check. So I don't know who they called at the bank that couldn't verify their own cashier's check. she need to sue the bank too. I mean, I can understand the dealership, but the bank too. So the dealership called 911 and they got the Highland Park Police Department without bothering to call the correct branch. So they didn't call the correct bank branch. Wow. They didn't call the correct bank branch? All right, so they didn't call the bank branch. They did call the Fifth Third Bank, but not at the branch where she got the cashier's check, which they should have done. So Crockett was arrested despite her pleas to explain what happened, according to Lake and McHenry, scanner.com. McGrath, Kia, deviated from its own policy and practice to return checks to customers and declined the sale while the validity of the check may be in question. McGrath, Kia deviated from this policy and practice based on solely upon Crockett's race, instead called the police for Crockett to be arrested. So their policy is if somebody walks in there with a check, if they decide not to move forward with the deal, they just hand the check back to the customer and that's it. Customer leaves with their check. But instead of doing that policy, they called the cops on her. So they didn't even follow their own written policy. Okay. So Sade was wrongfully discriminated against based upon her race while trying to lawfully purchase a vehicle gifted to her by a family member, her attorney said. Wow. Crockett was arrested and charged with felony forgery, causing her to be brought to tears and to have a nervous breakdown, the lawsuit says. So here we got another innocent person from the community getting arrested over a bunch of nothing because everybody involved were idiots, complete dumbasses. Okay, so she wasn't vindicated until several months later on July 18th when Lake County State Attorney, their office officially determined the check was not fraudulent, no crime had been committed, and all charges were dropped. Sorry it took so long, Crockett was told by the prosecutor, her complaints described. They took several months just to verify a check, y'all, that could have been verified in a few minutes. Even the state attorney took several months to get around to. Boy, these people are inadequate in their jobs. Inadequate in their jobs at the dealership, inadequate in their jobs in law enforcement. So even the police could not get the check and verify it, and the state attorney, it took them several months to verify a check which can be verified in just a few minutes. Everybody's inefficient at their jobs, substandard work. So this case represents a disturbing pattern of racial discrimination that can happen when banking while black. There is no data on how frequent the police are called on customers who are making legitimate everyday transactions, noted a press release from Hampton and Hampton LLP. However, racial profiling in our community needs to stop. Our client has suffered extreme emotional distress from the incident and has been unable to find gainful employment due to media headlines with both her name and image still viable on the internet. So, all of the information on this case is on the internet. Wow. So, Crockett needs justice and deserves to be treated with both dignity and respect. The lawsuit filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois and seeks compensatory and punitive damages for the wrongful arrest. WKM Automotive Inc., McGrath, Kia, Fifth Third Bank, and the city of Highland Park. And the two police officers who arrest Crockett are all named in the lawsuit. Good for her. Good for her. She'll go after the damn DA office for taking so long to verify a damn check. Unbelievable what they put this woman through. Now y'all can see how easy an innocent person can get caught up in the system. And they do it to us all the time. You can't even say, this happens, on rare occasions. No, it happens on a day-to-day case. It happens so frequently, it's not even funny. Exonerations are common. If you were doing a good job, exonerations would be uncommon and rare, but they're not. So I'm glad they at least found out and not convict and put this woman behind bars when she really truly did not belong there. But they won't hesitate to do that in this country. We all know it. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.